Chickasaw verbs can also include a causative element, as in 14, you make us dance, again one word. In addition, Chickasaw verbs may express tense, aspect, modality, negation, and various adverbial concepts, as in 15 and 16. So 16 is one of my favorite types of examples. He, chi, ba, he, fa, cho, kinsha. We are not making you dance with him yet. All one word. Polysynthetic structure means that almost all verbs can be used as complete sentences. I believe that there is indeed a Southeastern linguistic type. This is not a new idea. Among the papers in Hardy and Scangarelli's forthcoming collection, for example, both Robert Rankin and Jeffrey Kimball comment explicitly on the existence of a Southeastern type, and Jack Martin treats this notion in his forthcoming survey for the new Smithsonian Handbook volume. In this section, I will compare a number of languages of the Southeast, the Takapa, Biloxi, Caddo, Catawba, Cherokee, Chickasaw as a representative of the 6 Muskegean languages still spoken, and the other ones not still spoken, Chitimacha, Yuchi, Natchez, Ofo, Quapaw, and Tunica, with regard to the 6 typological traits we've just looked at. SOV, word order, genitive noun or possessor-possessed order in possessive phrases, noun postposition order or similar types of structure like that of Chickasaw, noun adjective order, active agreement, and polysynthetic verbal structure. SOV word order is widespread in the Southeast, as illustrated by the examples in 17. I've got lots and lots of examples that you can look at later. I'm not going to go through them carefully. They start, the SOV examples start on page 6 and continue to page 7, and there are many, many more. For instance, you can look at 17G, an example from the extinct language Tunica. Rabbit hit the alligator, which is in the order rabbit, alligator, hit. Similarly, possessor nouns receive possessed nouns, as in the examples in 18. For example, 18C from the Natchez language has turkey's waddle, expressed with the same word order we would use in English. Third, these languages are postpositional or postpositional-like rather than prepositional. So you could look at example 19A from Catawba, where in the mountains is expressed as mountain in. For the most part, adjectival modifiers follow the noun, as in the examples in 20. So for instance, in 20C from Yuchi, tree plus big is a big tree. In the great majority of cases, all of the adjectives, quote unquote, are actually stated verbs that do not appear to form a distinct syntactic category. So my colleagues Wallace Chafe and Robert Rankin have also discussed the absence of adjectives in such languages. As Rankin observes, the treatment of the category labeled adjective in most studies of syntactic typology has generally been quite Eurocentric. Other Southeastern languages than Chickasaw commonly have agreement systems like that described for Chickasaw, and they are also polysynthetic. I won't give you examples to support this, but you can find descriptions of this in these features in my sources. However, some traits of certain Southeastern languages do not fit the typological profile. Noun adjective order, for instance, is not universal. In the study of Chitimacha, Swanton 1919 writes that Atacapa has the beginning of a distinction between verb and adjective in that the adjective is sometimes put before the noun rather than after it. Two other languages, Caddo and Cherokee, have post-nominal adjectives only in fixed lexical phrases, but pre-nominal adjectives afterwards or otherwise. This might suggest that in these languages an older noun adjective order fitting the Southeastern type may be being replaced by the more harmonic adjective noun order. A second trait that is not shared by all Southeastern languages is active agreement. So Rankin confirmed to me that active agreement, though reconstructible for Proto-Siouan, has been lost in Ofo and Biloxi. Swatish's description of Chitimacha suggests only a marginal presence of this feature. While Cherokee shows somewhat active structure, the feature is fairly lexicalized. And Blair Roods has informed me that I was wrong to put down a yes for Catawba in Table 3, which you can look ahead to now, you might want to change the yes in the active agreement column for Catawba to a no. And if you like shade that column, this is a table which shows the degree to which all of the languages I surveyed follow this southeastern model. But I can add one more thing that's on my side to this table, which is that Aaron Broadwell told me last night at dinner that âTakapaw definitely is active stative, and I had not been able to figure that out. So I have a question mark in that box, and you can put a yes there. Cherokee seems to be the most divergent of the southeastern languages, so I've already mentioned a number of features that show this. With regard to word order, although Pulte and Feeling, 1975, report that Cherokee ordinarily uses SOV order, Scancarelli argues that Cherokee word order should be seen as determined exclusively pragmatically, according to the speaker's view of the demands of the conversation. So if you look at the table, I think you'll see that it doesn't really have many shaded areas, and so there does really seem to be a southeastern linguistic type. I don't have time here to discuss other grammatical features of southeastern languages that could also be regarded as typical. The widespread absence of noun plurals, which you saw in some of my examples, the presence of classificatory verbs, the use of directional preverbs or particles, and the extensive use of positional verbs to specify not only position but also such features as aspect. Another such feature is the presence of the sound F in many languages, which is actually quite rare in languages of North America. So I believe that there definitely is a southeastern linguistic type. The most immediately apparent linguistic reminder of the American Indian presence in the South is, of course, in place names. Every southern state has many, many place names that remind us of Indian tribes who formerly occupied those lands. For example, as I mentioned, Tuscaloosa comes from the Choctaw Tuscaloosa, black warrior, which is the name of the river that flows through Tuscaloosa, with the words Tushka, warrior, and Losa, black, in the expected noun plus adjective order. This name has appeared on maps of Alabama territory since at least 1733. One of the most famous southern place names of Indian origin, however, is thought to have been an author's creation. Faulkner's name for Yoknapatawpha County came, he said, from a Chickasaw word meaning water flowing slow through the flatland, which he described as a pleasant image. This word is derived from Yakani, land, plus Patawpha, split or furrowed, thus following the noun plus modifier order. So it means something we could say like furrowed land or split land. But this raises the question, why should Yakani, ending with an E sound, plus Patawpha give Yakana Patawpha? Recall that Chickasaw adds prefixes to verbs to show notions like location. Patawpha means to be split, but Patawpha, with the locative prefix a that we already talked about, means to be split in a location. This prefix frequently appears on place names meaning something like where. Thus, Yakani Patawpha, or for short, Yakana Patawpha, means where the land is split. So if you look at the etymological analysis in 21, you can see that all worked out. And indeed, if flat land has water running through it, whether slow or fast, it will be split there for the water to run through in a channel. So Faulkner's translation is not so far off the mark. But this analysis, correct though it seems to be, raises an additional mystery. The word, as I've explained it, using Chickasaw examples, which is what it's supposed to come from, is not given in any published source for Choctaw or Chickasaw. So where did Faulkner, who presumably knew no Chickasaw, since he made up the Chickasaw Indians, learn this word? Unfortunately, place names will almost certainly prove to be the most enduring contribution of these languages to the southeastern linguistic scene, since the languages themselves are vanishing. All those that are still spoken are seriously endangered. They are losing languages much faster than they are gaining them. Only a few languages, Cherokee, Choctaw, and Miccosukee, are being naturally acquired by children, and none of these is being learned by many children. The potential, indeed, regrettably, almost certain loss of these wonderful languages within not too many years is an important humanistic, cultural, and intellectual concern.